Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome. We are in Handbook for the New Paradigm, volumes 1, 2, 3. We are in volume 3, the title Becoming, and we are on transmission session number 37. For those of you that are following along in the book, that is 347, page 347. It is essential for the ground crew to understand that their commitment is to assist humanity to take advantage of their help and the opportunity of the completion of the various cycles that are reaching their culmination. One of those cycles for me, I feel, is again the evolution of humanity. We are those who are choosing to do so, who are feeling the push to follow that which they feel drawn to allow life to reveal itself to them, I feel are, whether we are aware or not, stepping into the next iteration of the evolution of consciousness, right? Which is the divinity that drives each and every process in the whole of the universe. So far as I can tell, right? So the outcome beyond that, is to be allowed. Indeed, those members of the ground crew that participate will sink or swim with the human population on the planet. However, in lifetimes that are yet to be experienced, the rewards for this work will be experienced if the effort to free those on this planet fails. That's an interesting statement. Those members of the ground crew that do not answer the call to complete their mission will indeed become part of the destiny of the human population. Okay, so then I take that to, through my own perception filter, that statement before that I said was interesting. It did sound like what I thought. It says in lifetimes, because the premise for me, what I understand is that, or the way it would appear so far as the puzzle pieces I've collected, is that divinity advances at its own pace, living experiences of the physical into wisdom. And so we volunteer to come here. And that's the only way, first of all, that in order to move from slavery to sovereignty, it has to be done individually, each being for their own self. That's why I see what we're doing is so important. Just working on myself actually affects the whole in ways I'll never fully understand. Oh, the puzzle pieces that have come in this week. I'm doing another book club, and puzzle pieces abound everywhere. So, however, in lifetimes that are yet to be experienced, the rewards for this work will be experienced if the effort to free those on this planet fails. Those members of the ground crew that do not answer the call to complete their mission will indeed become part of the destiny of the human population, which is something that I know a lot of spoken about, that and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's all experience and it's all a desire. I mean, perhaps the learning of finding self hasn't been completed for that particular soul. It is the risk that was known to them in the beginning of this process. The degree of the opportunity available depends upon the participation of each individual. In no way is this intended to be a threat, but as encouragement to look carefully into the inner awareness as to the validity of these messages and to feel what is the appropriate response. Yeah, because it will be different for each. Participation within this phase of the plan is not appropriate for every human. To be aware that there is a plan that can lead to freedom to evolve can then lead these that do not fit into this particular focus to diligently search for their proper place within the effort to birth the new paradigm, which is, from all the puzzle pieces I can collect so far, if one simply does what one is drawn to do, following the inner call, that is where it lies. That's what I keep being shown for my own self. Humanity stands on the brink of what is opportunity or disaster. Those are blunt words, but it is not to the advantage of an entire planet to mince words and walk softly. No, that's so true. The process is proceeding according to both plans, and a convergence point is looming in the not too far distant future as it is experienced in sequential time. Those in awareness must focus and direct their intent to participate and to involve as many as possible within their focus of intent. Tomorrow is not soon enough to begin. What has been known and experienced is what is expected to continue in at least a somewhat familiar format. This will not birth the new paradigm. Atlantis, whether believed as real or as a myth, is an example of this. The story that is known is of a continent containing a greatly advanced civilization with a well-developed scientific community and a very strong religious priesthood that controlled the development of all phases of the civilization. Though there were survivors, most of these were reduced to what is termed, quote, caveman status, for their tools of advancement were lost under the sea. The stories of, quote, how it was became mythology within a generation. After the passage of several thousand years, what now exists in comparison? Again, a well-developed scientific community that is controlled behind the scenes by religious and supposedly esoteric brotherhoods. Behind these, in reality, are the extraterrestrial true rulers making sure that their colony stays under their control. And boy, doesn't that really seem so at this point. I mean, even the most skeptical among us would have to hear this and actually have at least a question or two and say, that could actually be. The reduction, because it's just so over the top at this point, right? The reduction of mankind to utter poverty of physical and religious experience failed to allow them to maintain a destiny of continuous enslavement. Yeah, trying to convince a population that they're enslaved as they slurp what they view as the benefits of materialism has been nothing short of, and watching how the cognitive dissonance, I'm not a slave, is very, very interesting indeed. Unless a focused portion of the population is willing to take on the responsibility of deliberately intending to change the repeating cycle of apparent advancement followed by the return to poverty of body, mind, and spirit, nothing will change. The age-old question of, quote, why does God allow this if he truly loves his beings, rises to the minds of humanity over and over again. The answer is always the same: free will. If self-aware beings choose victim consciousness, the law of attraction will provide them with fellow victims and abusers to maintain the experience. The desire to move through the victim's experience, thus experiencing it into wisdom, with the intention of creating a new paradigm of experience for the whole of mankind and this planet, is the purposeful intent that is necessary. This must be held in the forefront of all thought regarding this process. Will this salvage the planet and all of the human awareness units on the planet? Only those who are willing to participate. Who these will be decided within the soul matrix of each individual. Participating in life experience at the third dimensional level blocks from the understanding the activity of creation that goes on in the higher dimensions of experience. These underlie or support those of the lower vibrational levels of existence. Life is often thought of as becoming more focused and rising to a point of completion, resembling a pyramidal experience. Using this example, it is necessary to understand that the pyramidal experience is supported by focused thought that may be understood to be its energetic counterpart, thus creating a double-pointed structure. That which is seen or experienced is supported by an energetic format of focused thought, and these interact on an ongoing basis. If this thought format were to be withdrawn, the manifested portion would cease to exist. Now, I actually experienced this in the physical, where I could actually observe and witness where my energy, my focus, my attention into something that I desire to experience, even though it was creating a container of space where others enjoyed the same thing I enjoyed, the very moment that I withdrew my energy, the entire thing seemed to fall apart. Once upon a time, before I ever started Conscious Conversation Central on YouTube, I facilitated a conversational program that I just adored, and I thought many others did too, called the Campfire Chat, where people gathered and had what amounted to eventually conscious conversations. That's how Conscious Conversation Central was born. It became rather, I'm going to show you my way is the right way, and it sort of became a little adversarial. I had to see my own self before I could see my own self, and others as well, because everybody thought that they again have the right truth, the only truth. And I had to see that and experience it into wisdom for myself. So the moment that it wasn't fun for me anymore and I withdrew my energy, and yet had the container there for those who wish to continue to participate, it disappeared. It stopped. And I think they went 2 weeks. And then it just, I mean, I paid for the room. I made sure that it was open and access to the one who would be facilitating it, and it just stopped. The interest wasn't there. I withdrew my thought, my energy from it, and it just went away, ceased to exist. So I'm going to read that again because I was shown this in a very real, tangible 3D way. So I personally I know this is true, and I would bet money that if you thought about it in your own life, there will be something that you felt interested in and drawn to, and you started. But once you left, there really wasn't. It's not the same, or it stopped altogether. I'm certain that there must be something in your life you could probably point to and say, oh, yeah, that's right. As soon as I stopped doing that, it just sort of went away. It doesn't exist anymore. If this thought format were to be, oh, wait a minute, that which is seen or experienced is supported by an energetic format of focused thought, and these interact on an ongoing basis. If this thought format were to be withdrawn, the manifested portion would cease to exist. Each human life is supported by an energetic focus that holds it in format. Each mountain and grain of sand is held in focus by its energetic counterpart. To illustrate this principle within the life experience, a business or organization is held in experience by the thoughts of those who participate by their focused thought. If that is withdrawn, it no longer continues to exist. It continues or it fails based upon the factors required and whether or not these were included in the focus of attention and intention. The information contained above can be carried over into the previous discussion of placing attention and intention within the application of the basic laws of the universe by releasing them in harmony through proper intent. The action of the thought thinking function of the laws can and does supply the factors required for true manifestation of the desired outcome to the highest and best good of all concerned. If the intent is held firmly in mind and heart, and at the same time released and allowed to manifest through the action of the laws, the outcome will assuredly be harmonious. While the information contained herein is often repetitious, it is written so that each may be convinced that there is a way out of the ongoing repetitious cycle of experience into a different adventure. Life fully embraced leads to wondrous adventures. I do feel like that's true. That's the end of number 37. I'm really glad that I followed my nudge to record this morning. I have a very busy day, but I also, like I said, I felt almost pushed, and I think I needed to hear that specifically. There is there's absolutely something to following one's motivational pull, and that is there if we allow it. Till we meet again, I hope that you will follow every moment what brings you the highest joy. There is always more than one way to view something. So if something comes into your view and you have heard me say this, and you want to say, but Sheila, how in the world? Just give yourself a few moments because there's always more than one way to view something. Did it happen to punish, or did it happen to release so that something else can hold purchase in our thoughts, our minds, our feelings? I have to I have to continually ask myself that question. So until we meet again, I hope that you will be well, my friends.